Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Gooners and Gloves Podcast channel. In today's video, it's going to be the 114th Gooners and Gloves Podcast, and I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to Arsenal's game versus Newcastle at St. James's Park. I just got finished watching it around sort of 20 minutes ago. I finally calmed down after what was an absolutely insane game of football, and now I'm ready to give you guys my analysis of the game. Obviously, I'm absolutely over the moon. What a result, what a win. I mean, seriously, big win, a statement win. Let's be honest, this was an absolutely statement win. The amount of adversity, the amount that went against us, but we still managed to pull off the win in a very tough stadium, in a game that we've really struggled in the last few years. I mean, before today, in the last 3 visits to St. James's Park, you know, we didn't even manage to score. Do you know what I mean? Like, not only did we not win, we didn't even manage to score. So the fact that obviously we got this win today, I'm extremely proud. I mean, I'm just so proud of the team, extremely proud of Arsenal today. What a win, what a result, and title race is absolutely on. Obviously, we're only 2 points behind Liverpool now. Arsenal obviously finally going to a much better fixture run after what has been an insanely hard start, and Liverpool of course go into a tougher run of their own. Obviously this was an absolutely must-win game, especially after Liverpool dropped points yesterday. Obviously Liverpool did lose to Crystal Palace, so that made this game huge, a massive opportunity for us, which we thankfully have managed to take advantage of. But yeah, honestly, where do I even begin with this game? Obviously a highly controversial game, a game that I do think there was some poor refereeing decisions in, I'm going to be honest. So yeah, but pretty much let's go on and get straight into the game. So in terms of the start, I thought we started really well. I think we put good pressure on Newcastle and we really came out with a statement. I think we came out with a point to prove. I think we were looking really direct, really threatening. Obviously the squad had been criticised quite heavily last week in the Man City game for what many people refer to as not taking the handbrake off. Well, I think it's safe to say that the squad did decide to take it off today. I think we started off really electric, really threatening. Eze in particular. Eze of course playing in the 10 today. That's something that obviously we haven't seen too much of, but I thought he looked really good. Definitely should have had a goal today. Really good opportunities, created some chances, but yeah, just a really electric start. We created quite a few opportunities in the first sort of 15 to 20 minutes, just really putting on loads of pressure on Newcastle and making it difficult for them. Saka, of course, Saka looked lively today. He didn't quite finish the game, but I'm assuming that's more rotation because he's going to be playing in the Champions League, hopefully anyway. Hopefully it's nothing to do with injury, but yeah, Bukayo Saka I think looked really threatening in that, you know, obviously in the first half, yeah, it was really good to see, just really good to see the directness of the squad and just sort of that like attacking threat, and it was nice, you know. Eze looked really lively, Saka looked good, you know, there was just a lot of attack going on. Rice was getting a lot more forward today. Obviously he managed to get one of the assists, which we'll get to soon, but I just think in general the attack looked much better today. I think we were really getting forward, really looking to make a point. Let's of course talk about the first big talking point of the game, which was the penalty call that of course was waved off. Obviously I thought that was a penalty personally. That's just my opinion. I really did feel it was a penalty. I thought that Gyökeres won it first and that the knee of Pope made him fall down and ultimately denied a goal scoring opportunity. I honestly think you could even have made a case that could have been a red card and a denial of a goal scoring opportunity, but at least it's got to be a penalty in my opinion. At the very least they've got to give that as a penalty. I mean, very clearly Gyökeres won the ball first and very clearly Pope trips him up with his knee, so in my opinion obviously was a penalty. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to say I'm biased because I'm an Arsenal fan, and obviously I understand that there's an element of that, but realistically as far as I saw, Gyökeres clearly won the ball first and had a good goal scoring opportunity, and Pope as a result of the follow through denied that. As I said, with the red card that could be a bit more debatable, but I think that's got to be a penalty, and I was really disappointed that they didn't give that, and I was obviously frustrated. So that certainly set the tone for what would go on to be obviously a very challenging game in terms of the officiating. But shortly after that, unfortunately, Newcastle did manage to open the scoring. It was a really good cross from Tonali, and to be fair, while Walter did push Gabriel down, I mean, the thing is, it's a hard one because, like, officially he did push him down, so I guess by the letters of the law, that could be a foul. But to be fair, Gabriel did go down a bit easily. I'm not going to lie, he did go down a little bit easily for it. So really, you could look at it either way. You could either say, oh, well, Gabriel went down easily, so it doesn't matter, or you could say, regardless of how easily he went down, he still got pushed. I think both sides are fair. I definitely don't think it's as clear cut as the penalty one. For the penalty one, I'm like 100% that should have been a penalty, but for this one, I think it was a little bit controversial, seeing as Walter did officially push him down. But I think when you take into account that Gabriel did go down kind of easily and Walter was in a good position, I think that just about, you know, it was controversial, but at the same time, I do think that it's fair enough. Ultimately, regardless of that, I do think we defended that goal really poorly. I mean, it was a really good cross from Tonali, to be fair, but I do think we could have done a lot better at clearing it, and unfortunately, Walter opens the scoring, and obviously it was really annoying, especially after how much we dominated the game up to that point. Like, Up to that point, Trossard hit the crossbar. Calafiori had a really good header that just went wide. Bukayo Saka had a good effort on goal that was saved. Eze had a couple of really good efforts. Like, basically, we'd been completely dominating the game. We really should have scored about 3 goals by then. So, obviously, to concede was a real blow, and it did not feel good. And you could see that the squad became a lot more deflated. But as the half went on, ultimately, just really physical. I mean, obviously, Arsenal-Newcastle games are always very physical. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, these games are just always really aggressive, full of fouls. And, yeah, there was a lot of that. But that was kind of it for the first half. Not much else happened. Arsenal created a few more opportunities, but ultimately just couldn't find the breakthrough. And we went on to the second half. So at the start of the second half, William Saliba actually came on instead of Mosquera. I'm still not fully sure if that's because Mosquera was injured or if Arteta just decided that Mosquera just wasn't playing well. In fairness, Mosquera didn't have his best game today. He did misplace some passes and in general was kind of struggling with Newcastle's physicality. So it could very well be that he just wasn't playing at his best, and so he decided to put Saliba on. But to be fair to Saliba, to be honest, Saliba is still a little bit rusty, I'll be honest. Like, he didn't have a bad game, but there were a couple of times he kind of messed things up. He was, obviously, he's still recovering from his injury, and I'm guessing Arteta probably didn't even expect to put him on today, because it seemed like, I really was surprised that he didn't start today. That's certainly something that caught me off guard, but Saliba came on. That was our substitution at half-time. William Saliba came on in replacement of Mosquera. We'll have to wait and see if that's because Mosquera was injured or if it was just tactical. We'll find out. But anyway, as the half progressed, we kept trying to create opportunities, and again, I do think that we were creating chances, but ultimately we just looked so deflated. You could tell from the squad they were just a bit deflated after the refereeing decisions in the first half, and again, the amount that the referee was allowing Newcastle to get away with. And to be fair, it did continue in the second half. Loads of fouling and an aggressive play from Newcastle, which the referee just kept waving off, and it was just really, really frustrating. So we kept pushing throughout the whole half, and it was just so gutting because we were 1-0 down. We knew what a massive opportunity this was, and obviously Liverpool fans, I'm sure, were absolutely buzzing seeing that we had gotten to the 84th minute and still no breakthrough. But obviously a huge breakthrough. Mikel Merino off the bench with a goal, beautifully timed, great header into the back of the net. A really, really, really good cross by Rice as well. Brilliant cross from Rice, and then a very nice header by Mikel Merino. Obviously, Mikel Merino, we have to start giving this man some serious credit. I'm pretty sure he's actually, in 2025, I'm pretty sure Mikel Merino is actually our top scorer in all competitions and also in the Premier League. Seriously, in 2025, like, this man just knows where the back of the net is, and 4 of those goals have been headers as well, which I think is the most in the league. Like, he is someone who just knows how to get his head on the ball. He knows how to score, and a massive, massive goal. And obviously, it was only the 84th minute, so we still had plenty of time to get the winner. And of course, we get to the massive moment that was Gabriel Magalhaes. Obviously, many people were angry at him in the first half for going down and not defending it, but it does not matter. Gabriel comes up with an absolutely enormous goal, massive header. Odegaard, by the way, Odegaard came on. I thought he looked really good as well. In particular, this one pass that I'm remembering was absolutely gorgeous to Lewis Skelly. I remember he put on an absolutely gorgeous pass to Lewis Skelly, really incisive, and Lewis Skelly unfortunately messed it up, but it was a really, really, really good cross by Odegaard for Gabriel, and then Gabriel gets his header on it, and what a goal, what a moment. Just absolute euphoria for Arsenal fans. Obviously, us winning this game when we absolutely needed to, and what a huge win this is. I mean, I really can't begin to explain what a massive win this is. The fact that, the last 3 seasons we hadn't even scored a goal at the stadium, we'd been struggling hugely, and obviously the fact that Liverpool had just dropped points yesterday, which obviously now means that we are, of course, only 2 points behind now. It's just a massive goal. It's a massive win, and my God, I went crazy. Like, that's why I waited a bit before I made the podcast, because I was just going absolutely crazy throughout my house. I mean, what a win, what a moment. Gabriel Magalhaes, obviously we know that anytime you put the ball from a corner into him, he can always score, and he did. Beautifully taken, and obviously massive moment for Gabriel. Not only that, but massive shout out to Gabriel for his 13 points on FPL. Massive for my FPL as well. Of course, I've got Gabriel there, so massive for my FPL to get a 13 pointer from him, obviously because he got defensive contributions and the goal and 3 bonus points. So in spite of losing the clean sheet, he still managed the 13 pointer, which is insane, by the way. Like, that's crazy. The fact that he lost his clean sheet but still managed the 13 pointer is incredible. Obviously got the DEFCON points and obviously got an absolutely massive goal. But yeah, just so proud of the team, so happy. Massive shout out to Mikel Merino and Gabriel, massive fans of both of them, and obviously so happy. But yeah, just a huge win, massive win, and I'm just so proud of this team. Incredible performance, and super proud. I mean, we dominated the game from start to finish, and in my opinion we fully deserved the win, and I'm just very glad that we managed to get something. So after that crazy game, on to now West Ham at home next week, and of course Olympiacos at home next week, so a couple of games at the Emirates. So hopefully we can get 2 more wins to round off what has been a decent return from the international break. Hopefully we can round them off, but Yeah, massive win, and I'm just so proud of Arsenal, super proud. And now the title race is absolutely still on. Obviously, fair play to Newcastle as well. I said they are a very tough team, and to be fair, they did play well today as well. They defended well. Like, as much as I'm not a fan of their aggressive play and their fouling and everything, to be fair, they did defend really well for the most part, and also were very physical, had some good chances themselves. So shout out to Newcastle, fair play to them, but super proud of Arsenal and so happy with the win. So as a summary, Arsenal won 2-1, goals from Watermada and Tonali. Obviously Tonali with a great assist for Watermada to score Newcastle's first. Rice with a beautiful cross to Mikel Merino, and then Mikel Merino obviously got his header on it, and then obviously Odegaard from a corner to Gabriel, and Gabriel beautifully puts it into the back of the net. So super happy, extremely proud of the squad, and on to the next one. So thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day. Please let me know down below what you thought of Arsenal's win against Newcastle. What did you think of some of the decisions? What did you think of the decisions that went against Arsenal? What did you think of the decision that went against Newcastle? Because to be fair, there was that moment where it was argued that Gabriel handballed it. It was a bit of a ball to hand, but in any case, we didn't get given our penalty, so obviously Newcastle didn't get given theirs. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Please let me know down below what you thought of the performance. How are you guys feeling? Please let me know, and I'll catch you guys with another podcast soon. Bye bye.